The cameras flashed. The internet froze. A 20-slide Instagram carousel dropped from across the world, and just like that, Hollywood had a totally new obsession.
They completely broke the internet with this one.
They really did. Welcome to StarScope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and, viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today's story is it's a massive one.
Yeah, today's mission is unpacking how Euphoria star Sydney Sweeney and music mogul Scooter Braun just took their relationship to the next level. And I mean that literally and figuratively.
Very literally, yeah.
Right, because this happened during an incredibly wild, adrenaline-fueled trip to Queenstown, New Zealand. So we're going to look at the psychology of the modern hard launch, the unexpected origin of their romance, and
the massive internet controversy they just accidentally triggered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you want to announce a relationship in Hollywood today, apparently you don't walk a red carpet. You don't, call a publicist to draft a perfectly sanitized press release.
No, you definitely don't.
You jump off a cliff in New Zealand, and then you post a photo of yourself casually brushing your teeth.
Right, it's honestly a masterclass in modern public relations.
Yeah.
But it's masquerading as this raw, unfiltered authenticity.
It really is.
We're analyzing a relationship that is shifting gears in real time, moving from those whispered rumors in New York to these high-altitude, deeply intimate public displays of affection. It requires a very specific type of strategic vulnerability.
So let's unpack this visual strategy because, it is expensive. Sydney is currently over in Australia, right?
Yep.
She's filming Netflix's live-action Gundam movie.
Yeah, alongside Noah Centineo and Javon Malton, who are actually on this trip too.
Right. But over the weekend, she dropped this massive 20-slide Instagram carousel, and she just casually captioned it, "A little Aussie dump."
A little Aussie dump?
Yeah, like it's nothing. But buried within this supposedly casual photo dump is this meticulously documented extreme sports romance retreat with Scooter Braun in New Zealand.
And you have to remember, the curation of a 20-slide dump is never accidental.
Never.
Especially for a celebrity of her caliber. By calling it a little Aussie dump, she's attempting to disarm the viewer. It signals low effort, like, oh, I just threw this together.
Just some random pics on my phone.
Exactly. But when you actually analyze the visual contrast within those images, you're seeing a highly sophisticated narrative being constructed.
Well, and the visual contrast is honestly jarring in the best way. On the extreme side, you have these cinematic landscapes. You got the two of them taking helicopter rides wearing matching helmets.
Right.
They are golfing on a literal mountain peak,
Right.
doing archery in the snow. And then there is this video of them screaming their heads off as they take a canyon swing.
Yeah, that was intense.
It is essentially a massive bungee jump, just plunging right over a valley. So it's high octane, almost aggressively adventurous. But interspersed with all that adrenaline is this incredibly intense, unpolished intimacy.
And that juxtaposition, that is the engine of the entire post. You have the extraordinary wealth and access, right? Private jets, helicopter summits. But it's anchored by these very mundane, unguarded moments.
Exactly that contrast. We see Scooter kissing her cheek on a private jet. We see Sydney taking a glamorous selfie, blowing him an air kiss while he's looking back at her dressed in a full tuxedo.
Yeah.
We get a shot of Scooter holding her from behind, completely recreating the iconic Titanic pose on the bow of a yacht.
Oh, of course.
There's even a photo where he is somehow balancing her midair on his shoulder and leg, and it's completely blurred in motion. It's just wild.
It's very chaotic.
And then the fashion details that instantly went viral. She includes a photo of herself casually brushing her teeth. She's wearing an unbuttoned gray cardigan and blue and white lace underwear from her own brand, CERN.
Product placement, naturally.
Oh, for sure. In another slide, we get a super close-up in a black and white gingham bikini top with red roses. Even her German shepherd, Sully Bear, is just riding along on the private jet. It feels like a behind-the-scenes documentary.
It really does.
But I have to ask, does this level of extreme adventure actually serve a purpose? Like throwing yourselves off a mountain together, is that a psychological way to fast-track relationship bonding? Or is this just rich people indulging in classic Hollywood escapism?
Well, it's actually both, but primarily it is a biological hack for the honeymoon phase.
Wait, really? A biological hack?
Yeah. In psychology, there is a concept called the misattribution of arousal.
Okay.
When you throw yourself off a canyon swing, your brain panics. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your adrenaline just completely spikes. But because you're standing next to a romantic partner, your brain often misinterprets that pure biological terror as intense romantic passion.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Adrenaline naturally spikes dopamine and oxytocin, which, are the exact same chemicals our brains release when we are falling in love. So they aren't just having fun, they are chemically accelerating their emotional bond.
That is wild to think about. They are physically simulating the feeling of falling deeper in love.
Exactly.
But what about the PR side of this? Because if you are trying to tell the world you are in love, why include a blurry photo of yourself brushing your teeth in your underwear? I mean, think about your own social media. When you start dating someone, you agonize over the perfect picture. Why go out of your way to look unpolished?
Because polished imagery feels like a transaction to a modern audience.
Huh.
A glossy magazine cover announcing a relationship, it just feels manufactured now. But showing someone brushing their teeth in a cardigan, that creates a parasocial bond. It creates the illusion of pure intimacy.
Right. It makes us feel like we're just FaceTiming with them.
Exactly. From a PR standpoint, it is brilliant because it visually separates their relationship from the stuffy velvet rope energy of standard Hollywood dating by moving from secretive walks in New York to posting these, unguarded domestic moments. They're sending a very clear message to the industry and the public.
Which is what?
The message is, we are deeply comfortable. This is not a fling. This is a serious integrated commitment.
It completely kills the casual dating narrative overnight. But, to understand how they reached this point of extreme public comfort, we really have to look at how it started, because their origin story actually flips the typical Hollywood power dynamic completely upside down.
Oh, it really does.
And if you are loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead in this deep dive, including a massive fan backlash. But first, let's look at how a 28-year-old rising actress and a 45-year-old established music executive even cross paths.
The context of their individual lives at that exact moment is crucial. You have two people emerging from significant long-term relationships, navigating a transitional phase in a highly public arena.
Right, let's set that scene. Early 2025. In March, Sydney had just ended a 7-year engagement to businessman Jonathan Davino.
Yeah.
She was stepping into what sources called her single era. She was finally enjoying dating without the pressure of an impending wedding, and on the flip side, Scooter Braun was navigating life post-divorce.
Which was a very public divorce.
Exactly. His split from Yale Cohen, with whom he shares 3 children, was finalized in 2022. So both of them are technically free agents when June 2025 rolls around. And that brings us to the inciting incident. June 2025, Lake Como, Italy.
I mean, a setting that practically demands a cinematic meet-cute.
It really does. Billionaire Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez are having their star-studded wedding. Both Sydney and Scooter are on the exclusive guest list. And according to insider reports, the initial spark happened because Scooter did the one thing literally no one else in Hollywood was doing.
He completely ignored her.
Yes. The reports specified that Sydney noticed every other guy at this wedding was trying to hit on her, trying to get her attention. Scooter wasn't. And that lack of pursuit made her feel like his intentions were actually genuine when they eventually did connect.
And that detail reveals so much about the psychological toll of modern fame.
How so?
Well, for someone who is constantly in the spotlight, constantly being pursued, silence is the ultimate disruptor.
I have to push back on this narrative, though. Because on the surface, it sounds like a classic rom-com trope, right?
Mm-hmm.
The wealthy guy playing hard to get, the beautiful girl intrigued by his mystery.
Right.
But beneath the surface, does this just expose how exhausting and transactional the Hollywood dating scene is for a young woman? Like, the bar is so incredibly low that he didn't immediately try to hit on me at a billionaire's wedding becomes the foundational building block for a major relationship.
It's a fair point, but let's contextualize that transactional nature. Existing as a young, highly coveted actress in that industry means everyone wants a piece of your social currency.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Your attention is literally a commodity. When you walk into a room, you are constantly assessing who wants something from you. So when someone who is already immensely successful in his own right, a music mogul who absolutely does not need her fame or her connections, does not immediately clamor for her attention, it doesn't just lower the bar.
It changes the whole dynamic.
Exactly. It provides a rare sense of safety. It feels grounding. He isn't trying to extract anything from her.
That sense of safety makes a lot of sense. And it clearly laid a very strong foundation. Because from that June meeting in Italy, the timeline accelerates rapidly.
Very rapidly.
In early September, reports start surfacing that they're seeing each other. We get the classic paparazzi sightings, kissing on a large rock in Central Park, grabbing low-key dinners in Los Angeles. Sources were clear she was just casually dating around at that point.
The operative word there being casually. There was no rush to define the dynamic.
But by November, the tone fundamentally shifts. Insiders start telling the press that the relationship is getting serious. Apparently, neither of them expected it to go this far, but the connection became incredibly genuine.
Yeah.
And then we get the ultimate public debut. May 2026, they step out together at the Coachella Music Festival, packing on the PDA in front of everyone. The hiding phase was officially over.
And that rapid progression from a quiet Central Park kiss to a highly visible Coachella debut, it aligns perfectly with what sources are saying about their current dynamic. This isn't just a romantic entanglement.
Right.
Braun is reportedly deeply invested in Sweeney's career trajectory. Insiders note that he offers valuable perspective and guidance that she leans on heavily.
So it's a romantic relationship, but there is a heavy mentorship aspect layered on top of it.
A vital layer, especially given the 17-year age gap. The psychological appeal here is immense.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Imagine the isolation of being an actress whose star is rising as rapidly as Sweeney's. The higher you climb, the smaller your trusted circle becomes. Having a partner who intimately understands the brutal mechanics of the entertainment industry, who has managed some of the biggest pop stars on the planet, acts as an emotional and professional shield.
Wow, yeah.
He can offer strategic advice without competing with her. It is an alignment of power and lifestyles that offers her a stabilizing force in a notoriously unstable industry.
Having an industry titan as a partner definitely provides field. But here's the massive catch. You can have the perfect alignment of power. You can have the perfect romantic Italian meet-cute and the perfect adrenaline-fueled New Zealand photo dump.
Right.
But when you date someone in the public eye, you don't just date them, you date their entire history.
Oh, absolutely.
Later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking viral twist nobody saw coming and the massive fandom that suddenly inserted itself into this relationship.
Because the reality of modern celebrity is that the past is never actually in the past. It is always waiting in the digital archives.
It really is. And as this couple publicly declares their admiration for one another, an unexpected internet fandom turns a simple Instagram story about underwear into a full-blown viral controversy.
Yeah, this is where the private relationship violently collides with public perception.
The friction between who they are to each other and who they represent to the rest of the world. So let's start with who they are to each other, because on the inside, the reports are glowing.
They really are.
Sources are currently saying they are, quote, blending their lives. They're calling them the real deal, noting that they have surprised everyone in their inner circles who initially thought this was just going to be a quick post-breakup fling. They are highly committed.
Yeah.
And they are backing up those anonymous insider quotes with their own very loud, very public statements.
Which is key. Publicly affirming a partner is a crucial step in formalizing the brand of the couple.
Well, in June, Sydney posted this incredibly heartfelt birthday tribute to Scooter. She called him the man with the biggest heart I know. She thanked him for living room dances and for, quote, making me smile again.
Oh.
She even wrote, a good man is rare. A man like you is once in a lifetime. I mean, that is not something you write for a casual fling.
Not at all.
And Scooter has been just as vocal. Back in May, he was a guest on the Second Thought podcast. He didn't shy away from the topic. He called her extraordinary, kind, and generous, and smart, and real, and down-to-earth.
He was very complimentary.
Yeah, he also made a very specific point to praise her acting chops, highlighting her incredible performance on Euphoria. They're loudly, proudly supporting each other. But then we get to the controversy.
The inevitable collision of two massive public brands overlapping in a space governed by fan armies.
Because you literally cannot say the name Scooter Braun on the internet without a very specific, very powerful, highly organized group of fans paying immediate attention. Swifties enter the chat.
The most vigilant digital watchdogs in pop culture.
Exactly. And to give the full context here, we are just reporting the facts of the fan reaction and the timeline of events. A viral response erupted recently when Taylor Swift fans began heavily speculating about one of Sydney's Instagram stories.
Right.
Sydney posted a photo modeling her own CERN underwear line, and she included a specific song lyric on the post. Swifties immediately theorized that this lyric was a subtle, calculated dig at Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it blew up fast.
The theory was that Sydney was making this dig on Scooter Braun's behalf, given the very well-documented, highly publicized past feuds between Swift and Braun over the ownership of Swift's music masters.
Right, and to understand the weight of this backlash, we really have to remember the emotional core of that specific feud. To Swift's fan base, Scooter Braun isn't just a successful music executive.
Right.
He represents the loss of her early life's work. He is the ultimate antagonist in her professional narrative. So when Sweeney associates herself with him, she isn't just dating a guy. In the eyes of this specific, massive fandom, she is sleeping with the enemy. It is a textbook case of brand contamination.
Brand contamination.
Yeah.
That is a brutal phrase, but it is entirely accurate. Think about it. My analogy for this is like dating in a small town.
Okay, I like that.
You start dating a new guy, and suddenly his nosy neighbors are bringing up the bitter feud he had with the local baker 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you can't buy bread without getting the side eye.
That's a great way to look at it.
Except in this case, the nosy neighbors are millions of internet detectives capable of trending a topic globally in an hour. So I have to ask, is it fair that Sweeney's personal brand, her clothing line, her casual social media posts, are now being weaponized or scrutinized purely because of her partner's past industry baggage?
Well, I'd actually take your small town analogy a step further. It's not just nosy neighbors gossiping over a fence. It's an active jury.
Oh, wow.
In a small town, people just talk. In the modern music industry, fandoms actively try to bankrupt your social currency. When Sweeney posts a lyric, she isn't just dealing with gossip. She's dealing with a coordinated digital PR crisis.
It's exhausting.
It is. When you date someone like Scooter Braun, you don't just inherit his wealth, his private jets, and his industry connections. You inherit his digital adversaries.
You literally marry the PR portfolio.
Precisely. Sweeney is no longer just being viewed as the beloved star of Euphoria or a rising fashion icon. To a very loud segment of the internet, she is now a proxy for Scooter Braun.
That is so heavy for a new relationship.
It is. Couples in this upper echelon of fame have to navigate the intense scrutiny of fandoms that act as unofficial PR watchdogs. These fans are analyzing every song lyric she posts, every clothing choice she makes, every timestamp on her stories for hidden meanings or perceived slights. It requires an incredibly thick skin.
It sounds absolutely exhausting. Picture yourself just trying to sell a new line of underwear for your brand, and suddenly you are trending globally in a music industry proxy war that started years before you even met your partner.
Yeah, it is the ultimate cost of admission at this level of fame, and it tests the foundation of a relationship very early on.
Right.
Can they maintain that grounded, safe dynamic they found in Italy when millions of people are aggressively projecting their own negative narratives onto them?
That is the real test of endurance. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next as we wrap up this deep dive.
No.
Because everything we've talked about today, the bungee jumping in New Zealand, the billion-dollar wedding in Lake Como, the glowing quotes on podcasts, that is all part of the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, it is.
And as we know, the honeymoon phase always, eventually, ends.
The dopamine and adrenaline from the canyon swing will wear off. The glamour of the Italian wedding will fade into a memory.
Exactly. Which leaves us with a lingering thought, something we haven't fully answered today. We've seen the grand romantic gestures. We've analyzed the meticulously curated Instagram dumps. We understand the stabilization he provides her career.
Right.
But how do the dynamics of a 17-year age gap and the intersection of a rising, massively popular actress and an established, sometimes polarizing music mogul actually play out behind closed doors when the cameras aren't flashing?
That is the million-dollar question. When the adrenaline fades, what is the actual core of the partnership?
Can a true, quiet connection outlast the deafening noise of the Hollywood PR machine and the relentless scrutiny of internet detectives analyzing every single move they make? It is a heavy burden for any relationship to bear, let alone one playing out on a global stage.
The scrutiny only intensifies from here. We will certainly be watching to see how they navigate the next phase.
It's definitely something for you to keep a close eye on as this romance continues to unfold, because if there's one thing we know about Hollywood, it's that the cameras never really stop flashing. You've been listening to this StarScope Report Deep Dive, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.